My name is John McAdams. Today I'll be demonstrating how to hit a golf putt. So putting in golf is one of the simpler shots to hit, opposed to driving or hitting iron shots, which are going to be a much bigger swing, a bigger rotation, and will incorporate the strength of the player more than putting will. So putting is a very short and simple swing. Really just requires a lot of practice to build up a muscle memory to become good at. To begin, all we're going to need is our putter, golf ball, and you can use really any carpeted floor to simulate the putting green, as well as a mug or a cup to simulate the hole. What I have here is a practice mat, which can be really beneficial to someone trying to improve their putting. It has a carpeted surface that is similar to a putting green as well as a hole. So to begin, we're going to look at the grip and how to set it up. So most of your golf shots are going to be wearing a glove, but once you get to the putting, you can take your glove off. And we're going to set up a grip, pretty much just going to take both hands, grab them one over the other. You don't need to interlock any fingers here like you would on most golf shots. And then we're going to be looking here, so pointing our fingers in the front of the club, both going down. So it's important for the grip to keep pretty much the same grip whatever you do choose, but you can vary it slightly based off what is comfortable for you. So now we're going to begin setting up our stance and our body, which is two very key processes for your putts because you want to keep these things consistent each time you go up to putt. So for our stance, we're going to start off taking our feet about shoulder width apart. You have a slight bend in your knees, but you don't need anything too much. Then as we lean over for our stance, we're going to want our shoulders to be just on top of our toes here. So from this angle, we're going to be looking just a slight bend over so the shoulders lay over our toes here. Slight bend in knees and a slight bend in the arms. Then moving to the arms, one of the cues you're going to want to think about, we're going to start by making a V with our arms. Make this V down to your grip. Then what this will do, we're going to create a triangle from our hand, shoulder, 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 and then shoulder back to hand. So we're going to think about this mental cue of creating this triangle, because this is what you're going to want to keep very solid and consistent throughout your putts. So once you have this triangle, we're going to want to keep these shoulders that are above our toes. We're going to want to have this pretty much perpendicular on the line that our feet are set up at. We're going to want that to be in a straight line to the hole. So our shoulders square in line with where our feet are aimed. And we're going to have this triangle set up. And now the only rotation that you need during your putt is rotating on your spine. Think about a rotation on your spine, or essentially just turning back and forward. So like I had said, it's very little movement, and that's really all you need. The shorter movement and the more consistent you can get with it is going to limit the amount of errors you're going to have through your putts, which is what you want, obviously. So to begin, we have our ball here. We're going to start with our stance, and you're going to come up to the ball, and it's going to be just slightly in front of the middle of your feet here. This is because when we come down here, the putter is going to lie right in the middle of our feet. So the putter comes to the middle of the feet here, ball just in front. We're going to create our triangle. Now we're going to check our feet are in line straight to the hole, and our shoulders are perpendicular with that line set up from our feet. I have my shoulders just above my toes, and I've got a triangle set up. Now when you go to hit your putt, you're going to want to set this up, line it up with your putt, and take a practice stroke. Just rotating on that spine, very little movement. And then for this putt, we're looking at about 3 feet, so you don't need to generate a lot of power, which means you don't need to go back very far. You can see here we have an indicator of how far back you want to go. And for a 3-foot putt, we're only going to be looking at about 3 to 4 inches on the backswing, and we're going to follow through about 10 inches to a foot. So again, I'll show what that length is going to look like in a practice stroke here. Come through. So not using any arms, just rotating through. So get the setup, come up to the ball, rotate through. You can see I just ended right about there, above the foot. That's the only power that I need to get it straight, about 3 feet. So once you have those basic setups down, as you go further away from the ball, all you need to do is add a little bit onto your backstroke and then swing through a little bit harder. This will give you a little bit more distance to the hole.